Let's get a look at our work week forecast with meteorologist Tamara Bird.
Yeah, let's just focus on the present because it is a really nice morning outside. You'll see here at Sutter Health Park that our flags get a whisk up every so often from that south wind. You also have some cloud cover spreading across our morning skies, and we'll see some of these high clouds as the day starts to unfold. Now in Sacramento, it's a comfortable 61 degrees, southwest wind at 4 miles per hour. We'll have hazy skies moving ahead in the next few hours. By 10 o'clock, that temperature goes up to 73 degrees if that's your typical Monday, say making a morning stroll or taking the dog for a walk time. Pretty comfortable conditions then as well. We start to get into the upper 80s though, back half of the day, and our daytime highs will be moving into the 90s range. Right now it's 70 degrees waking up in Placerville and Auburn, so a mild kickoff to the morning in the foothills. 66 is what you're stepping outside to in Modesto, and look at that number going down to 56 right now in Fairfield, where you'll probably want to grab a long sleeve layer before you head out for your morning plans on this Monday. The sun is coming up, and we do have just an array of clouds. We'll see these high clouds on occasion throughout the day today. For the valley, what that's going to mean is temperatures will be close to average right around 4 o'clock in the afternoon at 96 degrees. And for the foothills, your forecast will start out again in those 70s by 9 o'clock. We're already into the lower 80s. A spot like Auburn and Placerville will be in the upper 80s by lunchtime with daytime highs in the lower 90s. Coming up in my full forecast, I'll show you the cooler days we have ahead as we kick off the start of a new month officially tomorrow. 6:02 is the time. Brian, how are folks moving on the highways?
Cap City Freeway right now. This is a look right near Arden, and you can see traffic getting along just fine. But a little further up towards El Camino, there's a report of a small grass fire over on the shoulder, and they've got a handle on that right now. But that's the icon you can see, and I don't see any delays in that area. We had an earlier incident up around Winters Street on the eastbound side of Interstate 80. That's off of the freeway now, so no delays behind that either. So Interstate 80 looking good right now. Highway 50 incident free as well. No issues coming in from Folsom, El Dorado Hills area all the way into downtown. In the Sierra, approaching Colfax on the westbound side of Interstate 80, there was an earlier trailer fire. A big rig was on fire. They've got one lane open there out of the two on that westbound side. Coming up from Elk Grove into downtown, 5 and 99. No delays on that stretch. And looking through Stockton, you can see here incident free on the 599 and Highway 4 corridor as you're heading out towards the Bay Area. Westbound 205 starting to build a little bit there, and we have a stalled vehicle over on the right-hand shoulder. Right now, Interstate 80 from Vacaville to Fairfield is a 25-minute ride. 205 is a 39-minute ride heading to 580. And once you get onto 580, it'll be another 28 minutes down into 680. Here in Sacramento, Highway 50 is 10 minutes out of Rancho Cordova to 99. Interstate 80, a 9-minute ride from Roseville to the Split, and 11 minutes out of Elk Grove on 5 or 99. Back to you.
Brian, thanks so much. Happening right now, Sacramento firefighters are cleaning up after a fire involving 2 homes. Happened around 3:20 this morning on 55th Street, just off of 21st Avenue and east of Stockton Boulevard. This is some new video into the KCRA3 newsroom showing what firefighters faced when they got there. You can see just how intense those flames were, flames shooting up in the sky. KCRA3's Aaron Heft is live now with a look at the scene right now. And Aaron, it looks like those crews are clearing there behind you.
Just a few of the crews are actually clearing because this is technically a 2-alarm fire. Lots of crews, lots of trucks, several battalion chiefs. Let's get to the actual house. So this blue-gray house, this is one of the 2 structures that was affected by this fire. Like you said, it started around 3:20 this morning. Actually, a passerby, the person passing by was a newspaper delivery person, saw smoke, fire outside of the home, called 911. You're seeing what it looked like when we arrived on scene about 30 minutes to an hour after that fire began. Now, like we said, 2 structures affected, 4 people displaced in this fire, 2 adults, 2 young children, but luckily no one was injured. They actually exited the house because they smelled smoke prior to their smoke alarms even going off. Now, like I said, considered a 2-alarm fire, no one injured. It's still under investigation. Take a listen to what Sac City Fire told us.
It's probably about a 10-minute firefight, and then they switched into a salvage mode. They tried to save all the belongings of the main fire building, so that's covering their couches, getting their valuables all together, just to make sure that we kind of limit the damage as much as we can.
And we actually see disaster recovery and restoration pulling up as we speak. This is typical in fires, house fires like this. They try to salvage as much of the family's belongings as humanly possible, but the investigation is just at its beginning stage, and there is no yet cause found for the fire. In Colonial Heights, Aaron Heft, KCRA3 News.
All right, Aaron, thank you. New this morning, a fire has damaged 2 homes in El Dorado County. It happened in Cameron Park around 1:30 on Los Santos Drive. Video here of crews after they gained control finally of the flames. Initial reports indicated a porch of one of the homes was on fire, then spread to a neighboring house. Our crew on scene said there was damage to the front of the original home, but it appeared firefighters were able to save both homes. Several people were inside at the time. No injuries were reported, luckily. No word yet on the cause. Also new this morning, fire officials say they had to close down one of their stations in Calaveras County because of staffing problems. Here's a photo posted on the Calaveras Consolidated Fire Facebook page. The fire district says they are losing firefighters to other agencies because of staffing and work conditions. Now, this is considered a temporary closure until the fire district can find the funds to staff the fire station adequately.
To KCRA3 wildfire coverage. This morning, crews from the Sacramento region are in Southern California as two large wildfires may be impacted by dangerous weather conditions there. The Bonnie Fire is burning in rugged hills of Riverside County. Evacuation orders were issued to more than 1,300 people on Saturday there in one specific community. It's already burned 2,200 acres. It is 10% contained. The Nevada County Consolidated Fire Department sent these photos. 3 of their personnel have joined a strike team along with other crews from our area. That includes Roseville Fire, the City of Ione, Placer Hills Fire Department, Grass Valley City Fire, and Forest Hill Fire. But right now, there is even more concern over the York Fire that's burning in the Mojave National Preserve. It started Friday near Carruthers Canyon and crossed into Nevada last night. It is now being fueled by erratic winds, driving flames of 20 feet high and blowing smoke into the Las Vegas Valley. While it is in a remote area, the fire is 70,000 acres, no containment right now, gusty wind, and a chance of thunderstorms are expected today, which will only increase the fire risk.
We're learning new details about a murder of a Grant High School senior killed one day before his graduation. Sacramento County Sheriff's investigators say 18-year-old Billy Scott and 2 friends were sitting in a car in North Highlands. Investigators say they had a fake gun and they were trying to sell it at the time. That is when another car approached and shot into the vehicle. Scott died at the hospital. A 17-year-old has been arrested in connection to this shooting. Other news now, Sacramento police arrested a juvenile who had a gun at Arden Fair Mall. Happened just before 5 yesterday. Police were called to the mall about a group of underage people causing a disturbance. During that investigation, officers found a minor with that gun. That minor was arrested and booked into juvenile detention facility.
Today, Sacramento police will continue trying to find the source of a voice message threatening the lives of Black children.
In California, agendas are active to murder Black children in the Sacramento area.
That message was left around 2:30 yesterday morning at the Sojourner Truth African Heritage Museum. The founder told us she was shocked and disturbed by the message, so she sent it to Black Lives Matter Sacramento to spread awareness.
We don't know how valid it is or if it's actually going to happen, but we do know that we shouldn't sleep on it. We shouldn't act like it's not going to happen, and we should definitely secure ourselves as much as possible.
Anyone who may know something about the threats or even have received similar messages is urged to call the Sacramento police. Meanwhile, happening this morning, Sacramento County Congressman Dr. Ami Bera will meet with area veterans to answer questions about the PACT Act. The act provides health care and benefits to vets exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. Veterans do have to start applying for those benefits by next Wednesday. The event happens today at 10 at the Veteran Service Office on Research Drive. Now to our Commitment 2024 coverage. We have less than a month to go until the first Republican presidential debate in Milwaukee.
7 candidates say they have met the qualification for a spot on the stage. For more on who's expected to be there and who may not be, let's go to Mike Cherry live in studio.
Yeah, the story of the debate at this point is, will former President Donald Trump show up, or will he be holding a competing event? Now, Trump is among the 7 candidates who have qualified, including Governors Doug Burgum, Chris Christie, and Ron DeSantis, who is doing a, quote, reset of his campaign after huge amounts of spending early on. Meanwhile, Senator Tim Scott will head to the debate stage with about $21 million cash on hand. Other names to make that stage: Trump's UN ambassador Nikki Haley, and biotech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, among those not yet qualified, former Vice President Mike Pence, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, and Texas Congressman Will Hurd, among others. Now, as remember, to qualify for the debate, candidates need to be polling at least 1% nationally or a mix of early state polls and have a minimum of 40,000 donors. It takes place on August 23rd. Brandy?
But Mike, what does the polling look like?
So, according to a recent Economist YouGov poll, former President Trump leads the pack by a substantial margin. You see the numbers right there. Governor DeSantis is currently a distant second, but it's still early. Around this time in the 2016 cycle, the polls were still relatively tight, albeit while Trump was beginning to garner more support and surge, but much of that was also because of his debate performance. Brandy and Teo.
All right, Mike, thank you. New this morning, CNN reporting former President Trump's team is creating a new legal defense fund. Money will help offset some of Trump's legal bills and the bills of some of his current and former aides caught up in various investigations tied to the former president. Trump's Political Action Committee, Save America, already has spent more than $40 million on legal fees for him and the associates. Sources say the new fund will be called the Patriot Legal Defense Fund. Trump advisor Michael Glassner will be in charge of it.